to the Jewish proverb says, "Our heads are round, so thoughts can change direction." So when changing perspective is what can help us find the solution for all problems. Tricky. Reverse thinking is one of the ways. Help the wise find answers in your life. Reverse thinking can be understood simply is to use a way of thinking that is different from the usual. Reverse thinking is thinking in reverse, majority accepted, or arguments accepted by others. In today's video, Kim Ning-an respectfully invites you to listen. 10 deep-sea stories about reverse thinking. Help you change your life destiny. Story number 1, selling refrigerators in the Arctic. Can we sell refrigerators in one place all year round, as cold as the Arctic? To answer this question, a guy selling refrigerators decided to go there to find out. Despite the dissuasion of colleagues and friends, "Stop it, don't do useless things, who would buy it?" But the guy still decided to try, overcome the difficulties of terrain and weather. He went to the North Pole, where the Eskimos live and sell refrigerators. Instead of introducing the cooling function, he talked about the food storage function again, and fresh drinks. Without defrosting, a surprising thing. It was that guy who had a lot of orders, with a seemingly impossible thought. This has helped him to be extremely successful. In life, too. Sometimes great business opportunities often come from very different ways of thinking. With others, entrepreneurs at BA are those who are always on the path, the most absurd, to find out the most unique ideas. Someone once said that if you want to be safe, go with the crowd. If you want to succeed, do the opposite for the same reason. Story 2. Investor Charlie Marker is an American investment consultant. He is also Warren Buffett's best partner. In a short interview, someone asked him how to find a good life partner. Charlie Maker was silent for a moment and then replied, "Looking for excellent people. Then first you need to become an elite person. Because talented people, absolutely not stupid." It is true. Folklore says that the wind at which level you will meet the clouds at that level. Don't rush to find talented people. Before upgrading myself, want a good life partner. First, you need to be on par with that person. If not, even if you pursue them everywhere, then in their eyes, you are just a stalker and harasser. Story 3. Hassan is a rich and generous man. One day, a merchant borrowed $2,000 from him. He lent the man money and wrote a promissory note. When recently the debt payment date has been lost, the debt paper, he was very worried and told his best friend, "Listen to this story." His friend said, "Write him a letter and ask him to pay the amount of $2,500. Hassan said, surprised, "I no longer have the promissory note. I'm afraid I don't even have $2,000 left. Is asking for $2,500. Black Sand's friend said to do as I said. Although very skeptical, Hassan still did as you said. A few days later, he received a letter from the debtor. In the letter, he wrote, "Dear sir, I only borrowed $2,000, not $2,500. I think there is some mistake here, and I will pay you back this money when it is due." Inherently, if applying normal thinking, maybe Hassan will not be able to collect the debt. But when using reverse thinking, then he got the loan amount on time. In life, too, there are things that are extremely deadlocked, but when changing perspective, can be resolved peacefully. Story 4. There is a Jewish man, dressy, to Central Bank of New York City, to borrow $100. The bank employee asked him, "Sir, can I borrow $100? Bank side, "We lend at an interest rate of 1.6% and need collateral." The man immediately pointed to the luxury car, shiny, parked in front of the bank and said, I will mortgage the Kia. Bank employee surprised. Dear sir? He decided to mortgage his Kia to borrow $100. The man answered yes. Is that not okay? Bank staff immediately answered, after loan contract, and give the car keys to the bank employee. He left immediately. There were witnesses and followed the man. Asked the man, then said that, I plan to travel for a few months. And in this city, there is no place that has cheaper parking fees than at the bank. Indeed, with smart thinking, usually when traveling you will need to find a place to park your car. And the cost was expensive. But with reverse thinking, every problem will be solved simply. Easy and convenient. What we need, it's just a matter of changing your perspective. Story number 5. There is a Jewish man. Sit and chat. With his 3 students, he challenged his students to find the unusual point. In the story, after a day, there was a hunter leading his dog into the forest. Hunt squirrels. After walking a distance, the hunting dog saw the rabbit. It immediately chased after. The rabbit ran very fast and climbed the tree. The dog under the tree barked loudly. The rabbit was scared and fell from the tree and hit the dog on the head. The dog fell unconscious and the rabbit escaped. At this moment, the hunter came running and took his dog home. After listening to the story, the 3 students all said, rabbits don't know how to climb trees. The man asked more. Do you see anything else unusual? All answered no. The man asked gently. So where did the squirrels go? In our life, there are many difficulties and hardships, mostly because we forget our goals, or sometimes on the way to the goal, then turn the other way. That's why you should focus on your goals if you want to achieve success in life. Story 6. Mother sitting next to 7-year-old son. Doing homework. The boy didn't like doing his homework, so he told his mother, Mom is so happy because she doesn't have to do any homework. The mother smiled and said to her son, Then Mom will do your homework for you. Then check again if you agree. The boy heard that and shouted happily. After Mom finished homework, then give it to your son to check. The boy seriously reviewed and explained the mistakes. I instruct my mother how to do it right. But the boy did not understand. Why does Mom do every question wrong? We tend to impose our way of thinking on others. Everyone has their own thoughts, and no one listens to anyone else. No matter how good it is, especially children, they don't like adults giving orders, but like to be free to think, decide everything. So instead of yelling loudly and leading to conflict, then the mother in the story above chose a different way of thinking, but very effective. Story 7. In a town by the sea, there is an old man, live peacefully in his small house. Every day he sits on the stone bench in front of the house. Look at the blue sea and read a book. One day a group of children came to play. They took the stone bench in front of the old man's house and throw rocks into the trash can next to it. Very noisy. One day the old man said to the children, I love to see you guys play happily. Every day. I will give each of you 3 points if you come here to play. The children were very excited and happily accepted. They used all their strength to throw rocks into the trash can and shout to make as much noise as possible. 2 days later, the old man sadly told them, I still love to see you guys play happily, but my pension is not much left, so I can only give each child 1 dong. Although very disappointed, the children still agreed. A few days later, the old man said sadly, he lost his pension and has no money left. The kids were upset. 3D for all of us? Waste our time. So, since then, the old man has had a peaceful life as before. For children, commands and advice. Is their enemy Whether good or bad, they will not listen. So the old man used reverse thinking. To keep the kids from bothering me? His life in joy. Story 8. Sima Guang saves his friend. Sima Guang is a smart boy. One day, while playing hide-and-seek with friends, then an accident happened. Sima Guang's friend hid in a big water jar, but did not know the jar was full of water. He fell into the jar and choked on the water and couldn't get out. Should panic and call for help? Everyone was extremely worried and panicked. Try to pull him up. Only Sima Guang was calm. Take a rock and break the jar to save your friend. The water in the jar overflowed, and the boy Kia escaped. Usually when seeing a person drowning in water, we often think of ways to pull the boy up. But Sima Guang did the opposite of conventional thinking. Sometimes in difficult circumstances, we need to change the way, look back at everyone, to find a solution. Story 9. There was a guy standing on the bridge wanting to jump into the river to commit suicide. When people came to advise the young man, he said sadly, "I don't want to live anymore. My lover is married. The love of the past 8 years is gone. What is the point of my life?" Despite everyone's advice, but the boy was determined to die. An old man heard what he said. "You've been sleeping with someone else's wife for 8 years. There's a nose here. You want to live and die." The boy thought for a moment, then slowly stepped down and no longer suicidal. In this world, even life and death. Maybe we can find a solution. How stuck are other things? There's a solution. That's why you need to identify. Do I want to find a solution or not? Change the way you look. There will be other directions for life. The 10th story. There was a poor student. Go to school during the day. I have to work at the bar in the evening. He told a customer that from day school to night work to earn more money. Customers hear it, they feel sorry. He advised the boy to study hard. Don't rush to work. The student also confided in the guests, but in a different way. He said that even though I was working, serving people here every night, I always spend time during the day learning. Customers praised his studious spirit and was willing to help him find a suitable job, to be able to spend more time studying. You see, that's the same meaning, but for the first time, the listener has a negative feeling. But the second time, this sentence, make the listener feel optimistic and persistent. Even though he was miserable, he did not quit his studies. The same goes for communicating with others. There are words, even the truth, but make the listener feel uncomfortable and don't want to touch. Instead of the disheartening or illuminating truth, I'm straight. Let's change the way we talk. Following an opposite mindset. Thank you and all of you.